What would you do if your body grew in ways no one could ever explain? For some people, this isn't just imagination. It's their everyday reality. These individuals live with conditions so rare and appearances so unusual that they've amazed doctors, shocked strangers, and inspired millions around the world. Their stories are more than just curiosity. They reveal the incredible diversity and mystery of the human body. Get ready, because today we'll uncover the 15 most strange and rare individuals you won't believe actually exist. Are you new in this video? Click subscribe and hit notification bell. So let's get started. Antlametza Phalatses was a remarkable young woman from Hebron, Northwest Province, South Africa, born with the ultra-rare condition Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome, progeria. This disease causes rapid aging in children, affecting only about 1 in 4 million. She was the first known black female with progeria. By age 3, Antlametza's family noticed rashes and slowed growth. Doctors initially misdiagnosed her, but eventually confirmed progeria, a condition that often leaves children with aged skin, stiff joints, thin hair, and a small stature. In her youth, people often mistook her for an elderly woman, but she embraced her identity and called herself the First Lady, showing remarkable maturity and spirit. Despite a grim prognosis that most children with progeria don't live past 13, Antlametza defied expectations. She celebrated her 18th birthday, even meeting President Jacob Zuma just before turning 18. Zuma was moved by her sharp intellect, warmth, and unwavering determination. He granted her wishes, a cake, flowers, a car, and promises of support for her family. Antlametza lived life to its fullest. She inspired others by delivering motivational talks in schools, studying for matric exams, and even hoping to pursue psychology. She retained a youthful heart despite the aged appearance of her body. Her final days showed her courage and grace. Hours before her death, she was selecting her dress to attend Zuma's upcoming birthday party, a testament to her zest for life. On April 11, 2017, at age 18, Antlametza passed away peacefully at Dr. George Mukhari Hospital, surrounded by her loved ones. Her legacy lives on. Her primary school was renamed in her honor, and documentaries have been made celebrating her spirit. President Zuma and the nation remember her as a dynamic, inspirational young woman who rose above physical limitations and became a symbol of hope. Nicky Freemans is a man from Esperance, Western Australia, who, at first glance, appears to be a 10-year-old boy. The reality, however, is astounding. Nicky is in his 40s, yet his body ages at 1/4 the normal pace, making him look like a child well into middle age. Born with hydrocephalus, a condition where excess fluid accumulates in the brain, Nicky's early life was filled with medical hurdles. Doctors feared he wouldn't survive. Even when he did, lifelong effects followed. He is completely blind, his pituitary gland is underactive, and his bone development is extraordinarily delayed. At 16, he still had the skeletal structure of a 4-year-old, and today his bones match those of a 10-year-old. He didn't walk until age 2, and a shunt operation to relieve his brain swelling had disastrous effects, leaving him unable to speak or walk for months. He never regained spoken language, but he communicates powerfully through body language, using gestures to show his feelings and needs. Despite these challenges and doctors saying his life expectancy would be short, Nicky outlived all predictions. At 40, he graduated into size 10 children's clothes and enjoys life in his own way. He loves horse riding, enjoys long car trips, and his mother describes him as a fighter who is meant to be here. Medical experts say his case is extraordinarily rare, something they've never encountered despite years in the field. His story provides a unique insight into biological aging, growth, and resilience. Richard Norriss is a man from Virginia whose life was forever changed by a tragic accident, and later by an extraordinary medical miracle. In 1997, when he was in his early 20s, Norriss accidentally shot himself in the face. The blast destroyed huge portions of his lower face, his nose, lips, jaw, chin, much of his tongue, leaving him severely disfigured. For years after the accident, Richard lived in isolation. He largely avoided public life, covering mirrors in his home, rarely going outside without a mask, eating and moving only at night, and suffered with deep emotional pain, including depression and thoughts of suicide. Conventional reconstructive surgeries using his own tissue were attempted over many years, but could not restore his face adequately. Then, in March 2012, Richard Norriss became the recipient of what was called the most extensive face transplant ever attempted. Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez and a surgical team at the University of Maryland Medical Center transplanted a full donor face. Skin, muscles, nerves, bone, upper and lower jaw, portion of tongue, facial tissue from scalp to neck, from a deceased donor to Richard. The surgery lasted about 36 hours. After the surgery, Richard faced many challenges, relearning how to eat, how to talk, and dealing with immunosuppressant drugs to prevent his body rejecting the transplant. He has had complications, including kidney issues due to the lifelong medication regimen. Over time, Richard has worked to rebuild his life. He has taken online classes, expressed a wish to help others in similar situations, and tried to find meaning and stability, surrounded by support from family and doctors. But the psychological impact is ongoing. Living with another person's facial structure, managing strangers' reactions, and coping with daily risks of rejection are constant parts of his reality. Isabelle Dinoirs, born the 3rd of February 1967 in Maubeuge, France, became world famous as the first person to undergo a successful partial face transplant. In May 2005, Dinoirs was severely mutilated by her pet dog. While unconscious after taking sleeping pills, she was bitten in the face. The injuries destroyed or badly damaged her nose, lips, chin, cheeks, leaving her disfigured and unable to speak or eat normally. On the 27th of November 2005, a surgical team led by Bernard de Vauchel and Jean-Michel Dubernard performed a 15-hour operation at Amiens Hospital. They transplanted what is often described as a triangle of donor tissue, including nose, lips, and chin, from a brain-dead donor to replace the damaged parts of Dinoirs' face. This made medical history. Afterward, Isabelle underwent a long, difficult recovery. She dealt with limited function of her transplanted features at first, trouble speaking clearly, eating, and accepting the sensation of someone else's face. Over time, she regained sensation, smile, and facial mobility to a degree. Still, she faced complications. Episodes of immune rejection, needs for immunosuppressive drugs, psychological challenges, and scars were part of her journey. Isabelle Dinoirs died at age 49 on the 22nd of April 2016 after a long illness. The cause was not publicly detailed in full, though some reports link health problems to the years of medication, immune suppression, and possibly cancer. Her death was announced later that year. Her case remains a landmark in reconstructive and transplant surgery. Ethically controversial, medically complex, but life-changing. She showed how far medical science can go and at what cost. Michiels van der Weert from Belgium is only 23 years old, but his body looks decades older. He was born with progeria, a rare genetic disorder that causes the body to age up to 8 times faster than normal. Doctors told his family he likely wouldn't live past the age of 12, but Michiels didn't just survive, he thrived. Growing up, Michiels was often bullied and called cruel names like alien, but instead of hiding, he chose to live boldly. He learned to drive, he snowboards, he streams on Twitch, and he even got his favorite anime characters tattooed on his body. He proudly says, "My body is old, but my soul is still young." Michiels shares his journey to inspire others, showing that no diagnosis can define who you are. Now one of the oldest people living with progeria, Michiels continues to defy the odds with passion and positivity. His life is proof that true strength comes not from your age, but how you choose to live every day. This man shocked the world with the unbelievable size of his arms. At first glance, many thought it was simply due to extreme bodybuilding, but his condition goes far beyond lifting weights. His arms grew abnormally large, making him look unlike anyone else. Doctors say this kind of extreme growth could be linked to macrodystrophia, lipomatosa, or lymphedema, rare disorders where tissues and fat overgrow, making certain body parts expand uncontrollably. While some people chase big muscles at the gym, this man lives every day carrying the real weight of his oversized arms. His story is both shocking and inspiring, proof that the human body can sometimes defy what we believe is possible. What can you say about this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. In 2007, Carmen Tarletons, a nurse and mother of two, was brutally attacked by her estranged husband, who doused her with industrial-strength lye and beat her. The attack burned over 80% of her body, including her face, leaving her severely disfigured. Over the next several years, she endured more than 50 reconstructive surgeries just to try to restore what was lost. Some surgeries to restore her sight, others to reduce constant pain and tight scar tissue, which made simple things like moving her head or controlling her lips excruciating. In 2013, after being approved and waiting for a donor match, Carmen received a full face transplant at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. The donor was Cheryl Donnelly Ryder. The transplant brought huge improvements. Her pain decreased, her ability to control facial movement improved, ability to turn her head increased, and daily life became more manageable. She also became a motivational speaker and wrote a memoir titled Overcome, Burned, Blinded, and Blessed. However, over time, the transplanted face started to suffer from chronic rejection. Blood vessels beneath the skin began to close, causing tissue damage, tightening, scarring, swelling, and pain. Ultimately, in 2020, due to the decline, she underwent a second face transplant, becoming the first person in the U.S. to ever receive 2 face transplants. Carmen's story is both heartbreaking and inspiring. A journey of survival, medical wonder, resilience, and hope in the face of unimaginable trauma and adversity. Next, we have Colby Vanvoris. Born in Georgetown, New York, Colby Vanvoris entered the world with an extremely rare genetic condition called thrombocytopenia absent radius, TR syndrome, a disorder so uncommon it affects fewer than 1 in 100,000 births. Due to TAR, Colby was born without arm bones or knee joints, and his hands attached directly to his torso, near his shoulder blades. Despite these physical challenges, Colby learned to live independently, feeding, dressing, bathing himself, and even climbing stairs using his own adaptive techniques. He stands at 4 feet 1 in tall, and has embraced humor and positivity to navigate life with grace. Colby adopted the TikTok persona of Armless Freak, using comedy and candid self-talk to build one of the most surprising followings online, over 80,000 followers and 15 million video views. He has said openly, "I make jokes about myself. Videos are my way of making people feel comfortable being around me." Far from letting his condition define him, Colby uses his platform to break barriers, foster confidence in others with physical differences, and invite viewers to look beyond appearances into inspiration rooted in courage and authenticity. 9-year-old Rajaswaris lives in a small tribal village in Chhattisgarh, India, where she suffers from a condition so rare it's left doctors puzzled for years. Her body is covered in thick, stone-like blisters that have hardened her skin and made even the simplest movements painful. Walking, sitting, even lying down is a daily challenge. The condition began to show just after birth, and as she grew older, the symptoms only became more severe. Doctors believe Rajaswaris may be suffering from a rare genetic disorder known as epidermolytic ichthyosis, a type of congenital skin disease that causes extreme scaling and blistering. In some areas, her skin resembles cracked rock, drawing painful stares and curiosity from others in her village. The disease not only affects her physically, it also isolates her socially. Many in her area see her condition as a curse, making life even more difficult for her and her family. Rajaswaris requires daily care, from applying special creams to preventing infections and treating wounds. Unfortunately, advanced treatment is not available in her remote village, and her family cannot afford to travel long distances for proper care. Despite the pain and the isolation, Rajaswaris remains resilient. Her story has drawn attention across India and around the world, highlighting the urgent need for awareness and support for children suffering from rare and neglected conditions like hers. Tan Tian Eng, a 59-year-old man from Indonesia, has spent over 5 decades living with a condition that visibly marks his body, but not his spirit. When Tan was just 5 years old, he fell while playing football and hit his face. What seemed like a harmless accident led to a small lump near his eye, an early sign of the tumors that would eventually cover most of his body. At the time, doctors recommended immediate surgery, but fearing further complications, his parents declined. As the years passed, the growths spread slowly but persistently, forming visible tumors across his face, torso, and limbs. Tan has lived his entire life in the same rural village where he grew up. While his condition has drawn fear, stares, and even prejudice from some neighbors, Tan has continued to live with quiet dignity. His family, especially his younger brother Salim, have been his biggest supporters. In an interview, Salim said, "I am proud of my brother. Others are ashamed of him, but he is not inferior. He is normal." Despite the emotional and physical burdens, Tan has tried to lead as normal a life as possible. With limited access to specialized treatment, Tan's journey is one of endurance, humility, and the deep power of unconditional family love. His story, featured by Truly, serves as a moving reminder that courage often wears a quiet face, and sometimes lives in the most unexpected places. Valdir Segatos was a man who wanted to be remembered, not for his strength, but for his size. Born and raised in Brazil, Valdir became known worldwide as the Brazilian Hulk for his massive, cartoonish upper body. But what shocked people most was that his muscles weren't built in the gym. They were artificially inflated using synthol, a dangerous oil that puffs up muscles without adding any real strength. Valdir's obsession with size began in his early 20s. After struggling with drug addiction and losing weight, he became determined to reinvent himself. He started working out, but eventually turned to synthol for quicker, more dramatic results. The transformation was extreme. His biceps reportedly reached 23 inches, giving him a physique that looked more like a comic book character than a real person. Despite constant warnings from doctors, who told him he was risking infections, nerve damage, and even death, Valdir continued injecting. He said he wanted to be famous, admired, and unique, even if it meant risking his life. His appearance shocked people both online and in real life, turning him into a viral figure. Some saw him as inspirational, others saw him as a cautionary tale. Tragically, in July 2022, Valdir passed away on his 55th birthday after complaining of shortness of breath. While the exact cause of death was not confirmed to be synthol-related, many believe his years of abuse took a toll on his body. Valdir Segatos' story is a haunting example of how far the desire for fame and recognition can push someone. In the end, he became famous, but at a heartbreaking cost. In a small village in Africa, 8-year-old Triny Amuhirwes was quietly battling something unimaginable. A rare and aggressive tumor had begun growing on her face, and in just a short time it had reached the size of a football, weighing over 4 pounds. Slowly, it began to press against her windpipe, threatening to suffocate her. Each breath became a struggle. Each day, a fight for survival. Doctors were shocked. The tumor was so large and advanced that it pushed her face to the side and made speaking and eating nearly impossible. Her life hung in the balance. Despite her suffering, Triny remained strong. Her spirit never broke, and her smile, even through pain, touched the hearts of everyone who met her. She became a symbol of bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. When her story reached international headlines, a group of kind-hearted doctors and donors stepped in to save her life. She was flown to London, where a team of surgeons performed a complex operation to remove the tumor. Against all odds, the surgery was a success, and Triny was finally able to breathe freely for the first time in years. Today, Triny is a survivor, a miracle, and a living reminder of the power of hope, resilience, and compassion. From a life-threatening condition to a second chance at life, her journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Triny Amuhirwes isn't just rare, she's a once-in-a-thousand-years kind of human. Dellas is a 9-year-old girl from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. She is the 5th of 8 children, and she is the only one in her family who was born with a rare disability. Her mother recalls having a normal pregnancy, but after Dellas was born, she had trouble breathing and had to be on a machine for 10 days. A doctor later speculated that her condition might be due to an untreated infection her mother had during pregnancy. Dellas' disability is characterized by thick, stretchy muscles on her neck, which has led to cruel treatment from others in her community. They have given her the nickname the Bat. In addition to her physical condition, she has faced other health issues, including swelling in her chest, left leg, and arm. Despite these significant challenges, Dellas is described as a bright and intelligent student who is among the top 5 in her class. However, the bullying she has faced from other children at school caused her to stop attending for a period of time. With the help of the school authorities, the situation has improved, and she is now doing well. Her parents are deeply concerned about her future and her health. Doctors had recommended surgery when she was just 2 years old, but it was delayed. By the time she was 6, her family could not afford the treatment. Her father expressed the difficulty of providing for all 8 of his children and asked for help to cover Dellas' medical expenses. A father of 3, Shadot Hosseins from Shajadpur, Bangladesh, suffers from a severe genetic condition that has left his body covered in bubble-like tumors. Believed to be caused by neurofibromatosis, these growths have spread across his skin since childhood, and today they blanket nearly every part of his body. The most dangerous tumors have formed on his face, pushing dangerously close to his eyes. Doctors warn that without surgery to remove them, Shadot could lose his sight forever, and even his life is at risk. At 47 years old, everyday tasks like eating, dressing, or simply walking in public are filled with challenges. The condition also brings heavy social stigma, as children often run away when they see him. Yet, despite the pain and isolation, Shadot remains determined to survive and provide for his family. His story is a powerful reminder of the urgent need for medical support for people battling rare and devastating conditions like neurofibromatosis. Meet Isaac Johnson, a teenager from Minnesota, USA, who's taken the world by surprise. Not with his voice, but with his jaw-dropping mouth gape. Isaac holds the Guinness World Record for the widest mouth gape, measuring an unbelievable 10.196 centimeters, about 4 inches wide when fully opened. Imagine fitting an entire apple, a Coke can, or even a baseball inside your mouth. For Isaac, that's just another day. His unique talent went viral across social media, YouTube, and TV shows, as viewers were stunned by how far he could open his mouth without effort or pain. Isaac first discovered his unusual ability as a child, but it wasn't until he entered his teens that he decided to officially measure it. And in 2019, he broke the Guinness record, then broke his own record again later. He's now a double record holder and continues to amaze fans with his incredible flexibility. Despite all the attention, Isaac remains humble and fun-loving. He often jokes around with his talent, doing hilarious challenges like fitting large objects into his mouth and entertaining millions online. His videos are a mix of humor and "how is that even possible?" Isaac Johnson proves that being different can make you extraordinary. What some might see as strange, Isaac turned into a world record, showing that sometimes your biggest feature can lead to your biggest opportunity, and a whole lot of fun. This man named Manan Mandal, known as India's Elephant Man, and also referred to as the Melted Man of Delhi, has reportedly turned down an offer for reconstructive surgery to address his condition, neurofibromatosis. This genetic condition causes uncontrollable growths along his nerves, leading to significant facial deformities, including a missing eye, ear, and most of his teeth. Mandal, 50, relies on begging to earn a living, making around £5 a day. He refused the surgery because he needs the money from begging to pay for his 20-year-old daughter Rashida's wedding. He prioritizes providing for his family, which includes his wife, 2 sons, and 2 daughters. Despite the offer from surgeons at Fortis Memorial Research Institute, who could offer some reconstruction and comfort, Mandal feels his appearance is his only way to earn enough for the wedding and support his family. He stated that if the procedure was free, he would consider it, but for now, his family's needs come first. The lives of these 15 rare and strange individuals remind us that being different is not always a weakness. It can also be a source of strength, inspiration, and wonder. Each of their stories shows us that the human body is full of surprises, and sometimes the most unusual people have the most powerful lessons to teach. Which of these individuals amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories from around the world.